What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the No Life Digital Podcast. Nice to see you all. It's been a couple weeks. Last week, I had my niece arrive, so I wasn't able to make it, and weren't able to do the show last week. And then, were we here the week before? I don't quite remember, but I think we were. But today we're back. Tons and tons of news. Lots of stuff to talk about. Lots of fun drama. We're going to get into it. I want to talk about Call of Duty Modern Warfare, The Outer Worlds. We got some interesting PC gaming news. We got to talk about Death Stranding. We got to talk about Red Dead. Smash is now the best-selling fighting game. I want to talk about the AirPod Pros. There's a lot of interesting cryptocurrency news, and that's pretty much it. So we'll jump into that. What's up, everyone? Bringing on the co-hosts. Co-hosts, what's good? Anyone?
Okay,
at all?
we were both eating apparently, so yeah. Sorry. Yo, how's it going?
How was your? Were we here the week before last week? I think we were,
Dude,
right?
I don't know. I've been so busy the last couple.
Why
weeks.
does it feel like a week that goes by is like we miss a show? It feels like we've been out for like 3 weeks.
Dude, it's
I basically
me,
have.
For me, it's been everything. My D&D campaign hasn't gone in a month. Ever since I went for vacation, getting back has been rough to
You're just like
get everything together.
Behind on so many things. All right, cool. Let's just jump straight into it, into some games that we've been playing. I do want to jump first into Call of Duty. Before we get into any of that, you can watch us over on Twitch, over on our YouTube channel, and over on Mixer, all at No Life Digital. No spaces, no underscores, just No Life Digital. Follow us all over all these platforms. We're streaming live everywhere. Feel free to donate, feel free to sub, and feel free to check out our website, nolife.digital. All right, so I do want to jump into Call of Duty. Doobie, you played the beta, correct? Let me put up some footage.
Yeah, I played the beta.
How did you like the beta?
I enjoyed it.
Okay, you are.
Yeah, I enjoyed the beta. It was fun. I might eventually get into picking up Call of Duty. Just right now, I have way too many games on my plate.
I'm too loud?
Yeah.
Let me drop it down just a notch. How's that? Is that better?
Yeah. I just wanted to double check if it was on stream too, and it was. So.
All right. So, I can see.
Yeah, you like peak really weirdly sometimes.
I
like
see it peaking.
Yeah. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt, but.
I don't know why it's doing that. Was it doing that before?
No, just basically once you started to go live and record.
Huh. Mic check. Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, there you
can see it popping. All right, so just let me know if it does it again. Let me just bring this down just a notch here. So, yeah, I thought the beta was awesome. And then I had to get the main game. Huge Call of Duty fan, been playing for years. And the best part about this Call of Duty is just the feeling of everything. The guns just have so much weight behind them. The time to kill is a lot lower. So you have to be very tactical about things. They kind of tried to rip off of Rainbow Six Siege a little bit. And they kind of, take inspirations from other first-person shooters that have been doing pretty well. Combine it into this Modern Warfare-esque game. And it's the best feeling Call of Duty that I've played in a long time. Also, the best Call of Duty campaign that I've played in a long time. This campaign is vicious. It's brutal. There's these really interesting plays on these, old sort of like war stories that have happened. They kind of twist them around and they redo things where they make one side the terrorist, the other side not. Really interesting campaign. There's one like torture scene that kind of brings up some interesting questions. There's one scene where you're
the baby.
Yeah, there's one scene in Night Vision. It's an excellent fucking mission where you're going through this house to find this terrorist, and you're walking through this just house, like this like 4-story house, and there's people in these rooms, and you have to slowly open the door. It's all on Night Vision. It looks great. Let me see if I can bring it up because I have footage of it. And you're confronted with some pretty serious things. Let me see. Why isn't this working like this? You're confronted with some pretty serious things, and you know, it kind of brings up some it just kind of heightens the rest of the experience because the graphics are some of the best I've ever seen in a game. The facial models, the textures, everything looks so good. It runs really well on my PC. So it kind of just like, and the guns just sound and they feel well. So it kind of just heightens the tension to everything. I love the campaign. If you're a Call of Duty campaign person, I think that you're going to just really dig this one. The biggest disappointment is multiplayer. It's such a fucking disappointment. All of the fun stuff from the beta is still in it, but it just doesn't expand on it. Like there's the maps structures are, you know, I thought we were getting a lot of maps. There's not many maps. You're playing the same 4 or 5 maps all the time, and these maps are not fun. I love the cave map, and I love the small sort of storage container map, but that's it. Like there's this huge bridge map that could be fun. There's this huge sort of like barn map that could be fun, but they just like ruin it, and it just doesn't work for this type of Call of Duty because it's a lot slower of time to kill, or a lot lower time to kill. You know, it just calls for more tactical stuff. They don't give you maps that kind of emphasize that. So what happens, you get a bunch of people that just rock these shotguns, which are completely broken in the game. They rock these explosives, RPGs, claymores, and it just becomes like this dumb noob tube style game where it just feels cheap, and there's just you don't get a real sense of accomplishment when you play it like you did with older Call of Duties, where you can see yourself getting better. This one is just like they basically said that they wanted this game to be a lot more noob friendly, and they certainly did that by giving, you know, really weird sort of balances with the guns. Submachine guns are broken. There's no reason to use them. It's either the M4 or the 725, and then you just have a bunch of claymores, and it just becomes this annoying mess. But that's stuff that's all that can be fixed, and I think that they really have a winner on their hands here. They just really need to get down. They need to throw these patches up. They need to balance it a little bit better. And supposedly we're getting like 39 maps. And I can't wait to see what these maps are. Right now, I can't really recommend it if you are a Call of Duty multiplayer fan. If you want to play the campaign, absolutely. I think the campaign alone is worth $60. It's that fucking good. But, you know, if you're really trying to get into Call of Duty multiplayer, which is why you buy it, you got to wait. It's just not the time to get into it. It's just more frustrating than it is fun. And that's kind of all I have to say about it. It's kind of been kind of disappointing to me. I had so much fun with the beta. And there are matches like Search and Destroy where it's basically like Counter-Strike. And then you have Cyber Attack, which is Counter-Strike, but you can revive your teammates. Those matches are great when you have like a good squad and everyone's talking and everyone's like playing legit. But you kind of hop into domination or team deathmatch with a bunch of like randoms, and it's just so fucking frustrating. So hopefully they kind of tweak it around. They get better map. This map Piccadilly is the worst because the spawn trapping is so bad. And this could be a cool map. It's just, you know, they kind of ruin it with all these like weird bugs that are, you know, kind of break the game. But yeah, can't really recommend it right now for multiplayer because it's just so broken. They kind of need to go back and they need to fix some things. I get the whole idea of, you know, a shotgun is a gun that's going to take someone out pretty close range, but you can't be using that across the map. Like the range on them is just too much. Claymores just have this crazy, detonation field where anyone who, you know, you can step anywhere near it and you die. And it just kind of cheapens the experience. Let submachine guns have a lot better range. Let submachine guns be a little bit, let the submachine guns be used for this sort of point blank shoot, run and shoot sort of style, not the shotguns. You know, the shotguns are just, they're just broken right now. And it kind of, you know, you see it all over Twitch. People are complaining about it. It's nothing new. But I did want to let you guys know that the campaign is that good. And I am excited to see what this game becomes. There's no prestige either, which I think is great. You just keep leveling up. There's so many fun little attachments that you can get for your gun. I mean, I've been playing this game since it came out almost every day, and I just keep unlocking stuff for my one gun. And there's so many different guns. So I am excited for the future of Call of Duty. It's just right now way more frustrating than it needs to be. So hopefully they can fix that. Yeah, this is actually this is the Piccadilly London attack in the single player campaign, which was awesome. Go ahead.
That's what I've been wondering about, because I have one of my buddies have been talking about the campaign a lot, which really surprises me.
Yeah.
But I was curious. So for you, it runs great, and I don't know what you need to run this, because my buddy he was trying to return it because of the amount it was crashing.
Really?
Right, really, and I mean he's got a 1080 Ti. Like
Yeah,
it's
that's
not
what I
got like a
have.
slouch, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
like I don't know if it's something with specific
Okay.
process CPUs or something like that. But there was a couple of days where it was just crashing nonstop on him.
No. I will take that back a little bit. So the gameplay for me has been perfectly fine. I've only ran into one crash, and it seemed to be patched because it just hasn't happened since like the first couple days. But there's a huge bug right now where cutscenes stutter, and sometimes the cutscenes audio is out of sync. That sucks because these cutscenes are awesome. That's not cool. And there seems to be like a weird frameless or frame borderless window situation that kind of fucks things up. So there are like these weird glitches and bugs that haven't been ironed out yet. But overall, like the gameplay side of things, I haven't really had much of an issue. I haven't really seen it either. I'm assuming maybe it's some sort of memory issue. That's kind of what it sounds like, but I haven't noticed
possibly. I don't. Yeah, I'm not sure because he's.
Yeah, because I have the same graphics card. He should be running it. I mean, this game is optimized like Battlefield too. It looks great, so he should be getting 60 frames easy.
No, yeah, it's not a performance issue like that. There was just something going on where it was crashing. Yeah, but like otherwise, no, it seems like a surprisingly good Call of Duty game.
Yeah, surprisingly
I'm
good.
still not gonna buy it because that's probably the most disappointing thing about your review is like, so there's not enough multiplayer maps and the multiplayer is kind of boring, and that's just like,
yeah.
Oh, that's a letdown because it sounds like you're doing so much right, and then I mean, why the fuck are you playing Call of Duty?
Yeah,
you're playing for
letdown.
multiplayer.
It's a huge letdown because the beta was excellent. I was so excited for it, and it still feels like that. But the maps are garbage. They're straight garbage. The spawn trapping is terrible. Just like the balancing of weapons is so bad. Everything else is amazing about it.
Sounds like when Destiny 2 came out, where it's like,
you know, wait a few months.
Really. Yeah, like where it's like because that was my issue with Destiny 2 is like there wasn't enough to do, but when you're actually playing the game and how well they did the PC port, it felt phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like you want to play more of it, but there's not more of it to play.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what sucks. Like, just don't buy it. And if you're a Call of Duty multiplayer person, do not buy it because you're gonna get frustrated with it. It's still fun, but it's just gotta wait. You know, you just gotta wait until it gets to that point where they figured out how to balance it right, and the maps are a lot better, and they get the feedback from the community. That's kind of what the beta period's for. But you know, I guess they didn't fucking listen to too much. But just the campaign alone, just the campaign alone is worth $60. The campaign is that good. It's really, really cool. Super action packed. You know, I just think it's cool. But I can see some people might not like it because it's very violent. It's very pro-America, you know, death to terrorist style. You know, the same old kind of
Call of Duty.
Same bullshit Call of Duty that you're gonna get. I like that stuff though.
I mean,
you know,
that's been Call of Duty's bread and butter forever.
Yeah.
Like even in the World War II games that I used to play for them, even then they were still like a little over the top of like Big Red 1 and shit like that.
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
Dude, America.
Yeah. So overall, yeah, can't really recommend it right now until some of that goes through. One game that I can recommend though, and I'm gonna put up some footage, is The Outer Worlds. And The Outer Worlds has been a pleasant surprise. What's going on here? Come on, baby. Let me get this up. Let me get this going. So The Outer Worlds, I can't quite remember who the team is. I believe it's
Obsidian.
Yeah,
it's Obsidian.
It's Obsidian, and
but it's like a different Obsidian than when you think of when you say Obsidian. So it is Obsidian. Right. There is a good, from what I could tell, there is a good chunk who did like for the old Fallout games, for example, but it is still a lot newer of an Obsidian. There's not as much crossover as you'd expect when you just hear Obsidian.
Right. It's like the game is like a Fallout mod. It's kind of what it feels like. It's straight up Fallout 3 the same feeling. The gunplay feels the same. The dialogue, when you speak to someone, it kind of zooms in on their face, and it's where their face is dead center, and then you get a bunch of dialogue options, which is awesome. I loved Fallout, and I really like this game. It's super funny for one. It's witty. It's clever. There's a lot of funny like situations that you're put in. Essentially, the game is, there's these weird corporations that kind of run these worlds that you inhabit, and you're trying to essentially navigate through all of them, and you're trying to make sure they all don't kill each other, and you're trying to like save humanity all at once, and you just meet like a bunch of these interesting characters along the way. I don't want to spoil too much about this story, but it is great. I really enjoyed the story. The story is kind of what led me to keep playing, because the gunplay is kind of cheap. It's kind of to be frank, it's no Call of Duty. You know what I mean? It's just a very second nature of this game. The dialogue, the dialogue and the story, and all the fun leveling up stuff that you get and different builds. That comes first, and they do a great job here. I love the kind of the way that they kind of give you these certain situations where you have to make a choice, because it does actually make a difference in the game overall. So one scene, you're confronted with the leader of this faction, and they tell you to go. They basically tell you to do something that's pretty fucked up, and there's 3 different options that you can choose. And I made sure that I saved before I went to this point, and I tested out each option. And no doubt it changes the course of the game, and it changes the missions that come next, and it changes kind of where you sit in your own mortality of the game. And, Obsidian just does it really well. And I just love that aspect of it. And I actually didn't know what I was getting into. I heard this game was getting good reviews, so I was like, let me check it out. And I started getting into it. I was like, this feels a lot like Fallout. Then I learned of Obsidian. Then I was like, oh, okay, this game is meant to sort of be played over and over again. It's meant to sort of, oh shit, what's going on here? Fuck, we're gonna God damn it, I forgot I did this. It's meant to be played over and over again and kind of go through all of the motions. What we're gonna do for a second, I'm gonna have to dip you guys out and then add you guys back in, and I'll keep chatting. But overall I've been really enjoying The Outer Worlds. Come on. Where is it? All right. Well, you're going to have to see my no face for right now. I've been really enjoying The Outer Worlds, and the entire experience around it. It's just been such a pleasure to sort of play, because it's just, I like that sort of oh, God damn it. Wow, you gotta be kidding me. Give me a second, guys. All right. We're back. Can you see me? All right. Let me invite these guys here. All right, so yeah, I like the game. You can't really talk too much about this story, because there's a lot of fun quests that you get into that spoil a lot of the game. Like there's certain things that you need to do to get to these points, and there's certain decisions that you need to make to get to these points. And if I spoil them, it kind of cheapens the experience. You kind of want to go into it fresh and kind of experience it yourself. Just know that it is a very sort of text-heavy game, and it's more about the dialogue. It's more about the choices that you're making, and not so much about the combat, because the combat overall is just not that good. There's not many weapons. You can get some fun weapons, but there's just not many of them. I think I'm gonna do a different build, which is a first in a game like this. It's kind of short. I would say about 25 hours, 20 to 25 hours to get through it. So it's kind of like a weekend game, but overall, I think it's pretty fucking fun. I think a lot of people will enjoy it. It's very, very funny. One of the few games that I've actually been like, wow, this is actually pretty damn funny, and funny enough that made me kind of want to see where it was headed as well, where it's not just like a cheap sort of quip. It's like, holy shit, this is actually a very interesting set of predicaments I'm put in and how these characters react to it. And I thought that was really cool because I haven't played a game in a long time that made me felt like that. So that's Outer Worlds. Have you guys been playing anything?
Not really.
I bought stuff, but I haven't been able to play it yet.
No?
I picked up Luigi's Mansion, but I haven't had a chance to actually sit down and play it.
Oh, I forgot that was out, yeah. Have you played the Astro Chain yet?
I'm still, dude. I have the box like right next to me over here with the other games that are on my must play list.
What are you working through right now? Have you been working through any games?
I've been working through the Legends. Legends of Heroes: Trails in the Sky second chapter on the PSP because I bought the third one on Steam on sale, which goes into Trails of Cold Steel, which the third one just came out. So I got to play 1 and 2. I just been on a huge
He's playing
JRPG
these fucking
kick.
old ass JRPGs.
Yep.
And he's got
That's my
Astro
shit.
Chain sitting right there.
It's all on the list.
You gotta get to you gotta get to Astro Chain. I just finished it last night. It's just so fucking fun, man.
And in 2 weeks, everything gets kicked to the curb, so I can play Star Wars and Pokemon.
Oh, that's right. Star Wars is coming out soon.
Yep, on the
God
15th.
damn, dude. Yeah, there's actually all right, let's get into news because we got some interesting stuff to talk about. So Duos is live on Apex. Woohoo. Have you played this, Doobie?
I have. I mean, it went live today. I haven't had a chance to play the Duos mode yet. I am interested in the firing range mode, which is kind of something we've been bitching about for a while. Is in training mode, you only get to play as Lifeline. There's very limited stuff. There's no like actual really a good way to train.
It's just dumb. It's like a dumb tutorial.
It is. It's really bad. Firing range lets you play with you, or if your squad is there, they can enter as well. So the 3 of you, and you can pretty much play around with any weapon, any hero, like any legend, any like all of the attachments, all of the hop-ups. You can actually sit there and train.
Are there like bots?
I think they have training dummies at the moment, but if you have your,
They should just give you bots and just give you a
let's say
bot match.
if you have members in your squad, I think you can shoot each other
Okay.
to kind of practice.
That's pretty good.
I'm not entirely positive if you actually do any damage, but at least it's a moving target that moves erratically.
Okay.
So I mean, it's a step up from what we've had before.
Yeah, Duos has
other than
been people have been asking for Duos. I think Apex is like perfect
think
for
they need-
Duos.
I think they need to implement both duos and solos permanently.
Oh, is this a temporary thing?
It's just like solos was. It's a limited event, I think, for 2 weeks.
So dumb. You know what? Screw Apex. Fuck them.
I don't do it. I mean, I guess it's a play test, but like I really think they need to add those as permanent modes at this point.
Well, good news. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is the best-selling fighting game ever, which surprised the fuck out of me.
Not bad for a party game.
Not bad for a game released fucking... How many years has it been? A year and a half?
Yeah, I'd say about that, right?
A year and a half, and it's already the best-selling fighting game? How? I think it totally deserves it.
Smash.
I think it totally deserves. I was playing Call of Duty and I was like, this is kind of the reason why I keep going back to Smash. I'm not sick of Smash. It's just perfect. It's so fucking good, man.
It's it is the most epic. Was it the most damn? What's the phrase? The most ambitious crossover in gaming history.
Yeah.
That's what Smash is.
It's good because it's like you make a game like this and there's a financial incentive to do so.
And the irony, like one of the funniest things, the reason why Sakurai created Smash Brothers was because of the character that we're getting to. That well, I don't know if we're getting him tomorrow, but there's a 45-minute presentation tomorrow on Terry Bogard. So the story is that Sakurai completely bodied this like new player to King of Fighters 95. And he felt so bad about bodying this person, like just destroying them. He's like, I gotta make a game that like even new players can chop into.
Yeah. I don't
That's
know.
how
I don't
Smash
know.
Brothers was thought. That's how the idea for Smash Brothers came about.
I don't know if Smash Brothers is that game.
I mean, when it came on the 64, it might have been.
Yeah. Well, yeah. When it first released, maybe. Yeah. But
Now,
now
after years and God,
yeah.
what,
Now you can get
2
your fucking ass
decades
whooped.
of Smash. Yeah, you best bring it, or else you get your ass whipped.
Yeah, that's good to see. I like that. Probably one of my favorite games ever. Red Dead got relaunched on the PC, and it's having a rough time, it seems like. A lot of players, myself included, are already having some issues. This is from Kotaku. Here are some of the problems you might be running into and some possible fixes that have been discovered. Graphics drivers, you need to update them. There seems to be a lot of freezing and crashing going on. There's stutters, seems to be memory problems, and it just doesn't. It seems like maybe they rushed it out a little too quickly.
Which is also sad since the game's already a year late.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did hear somebody say that playing it with mouse felt really good.
Oh, I bet, man. Same with Grand Theft Auto, man.
Do you mean playing a shooter with a mouse feels really good?
I know, right?
I was thinking about
Stalker.
re-getting this to play it on a 60 frames per second, PC system, to see if how much better it is. I'll let you guys know if I do. I'm not entirely sure, because I feel like my experience with Red Dead Redemption is just that was perfect, and I don't know if I want to spoil it. But I've never played the online, so maybe the PC version online might be better. Who knows? Diablo 4 was announced, and I do want to hear Jerry's, because Jerry, big Blizzard guy. What did you think, man? What did you think of the trailer so far and what we saw?
I
am cautiously optimistic, but
as with anything from Blizzard right now.
True.
I mean, Overwatch 2, and yeah.
If we want to get into Overwatch 2, I think they did some things really cool there.
We will add that after this conversation.
Yeah. So Diablo 4, it looks interesting because I'm cautiously optimistic, but Diablo 4's got a lot of ground to catch up.
Poe?
Path of Exile just dumpstered Diablo 3 in my opinion. It's not even close. Path of Exile is a fantastic game.
I would easily agree with that opinion.
Path of Exile is so good, especially right now, and they keep making it better. Diablo 4, it does have a lot of ground to catch up for that kind of Diablo 2 style game. Now, the gameplay, it does look better. It still looks like it's got it's still Diablo 3-ish, especially in combat mechanics, but that's not a bad thing to say, because Diablo 3 was really fluid. It is a fun game for what it is. But the bosses seem interesting. It does look like a little bit more of a challenge, which is I'm hopeful for, because Diablo 4, after all of the reworks, is just a really easy game.
Yeah.
When it came out, hardcore was hard, actually difficult, but they nerfed it to the ground, and there's so many weird scaling things that it's kind of a joke of a game if you're super into these action ARPG style games. Now, it seems good. I will still try it, obviously, but it sounds like it's a far ways off. It looks very it's got some interesting ideas. I like the way how they're adding they're bringing back kind of what they had in 2-ish and what Path of Exile kind of does, of there are little city hubs where you can actually see other players and trade with them and actually interact with them, which I'm a big fan of that. That's a really good step towards that direction. But until we see how these mechanics work, how the itemization works, and how the builds work, I there's not much to say about it from my end of can it compete with Path of Exile. These style of games matter so much on the itemization and the gearing and how that all works together, especially with builds.
And Path of Exile was Gem. This system is so cool, dude. I love how
it's so infinite almost. It's great.
I love how you can do that with Path of Exile, and I honestly think that I don't think this is even going to come close to it. I think this is going to be more of a darker version of Diablo 3, which is something that I do want. I do want to play it. I love the Diablo series. And I'm happy they kind of went this route, but I don't think in terms of just advanced sort of RPG, I don't think they're gonna. I can't imagine, because Path of Exile has just been, they started out like that, and just kept making it better.
I will say a lot of the mobs and stuff they're adding is very Path of Exile-esque.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. But they have to, because they're now the king. You know?
Yeah.
Diablo 2 kind of was the king for a while, and then Poe came out and was like, all right,
Diablo
we'll
2
take
is still
it
the
from you.
king.
Yeah.
But yeah, because like that's what Path of Exile was, and like still is at its heart, is like, no, they just wanted to remake Diablo 2 and make like a better version of Diablo 2.
Yeah, I'm saying essentially I would always play Poe over Diablo 2. You know what I mean?
Nowadays, probably.
Yeah, I really
It's gone so far. It's yeah.
But I'm very hopeful for it. I think the biggest disappointment is that we're not going to see it for like 2 more years. It's
Probably
like,
not.
This
yeah.
isn't coming out for a fucking long ass time.
And like
So,
I
that sucks.
am hopeful of it. Like it still does look a little basic-ish, but like it really depends on what are they going to do for builds? How fleshed out is it going to get, and how does it interact? Because that's the problem I have with Diablo 3 is like, okay, so you want to do one type of build and you're just going to go get that gear, and once you got that gear, like you're done. Like
Yeah.
that's all you're going to do. Like, and then push rifts as far as you can. Like, while Path of Exile, what they've nailed is you can finish a character like that, but there's so many different characters you can create and even still change those characters that like, yeah, I'm going to try 8,000 different things instead of like, I'm going to make a really good of these 20 subsets that I can do, and that's it.
Yeah. And the builds in Path of Exile are just so much more fun to play and tweak and grind than just the Diablo 3 sort of boring ass static builds.
Yeah, that's where I don't know if they are going to be able to compete, is if they keep static builds. Like that's what I'm most interested in seeing, I guess.
Yeah.
Is like, are they going to try to actually compete with that or not?
Yeah. I mean, I'm still hopeful for it. It does look pretty cool from what they've showed. We'll
Seems
see if that's the
interesting.
final product. Yeah, Overwatch 2.
Overwatch 2 seems very interesting.
I mean, it's very, for me, it's very confusing right now.
It is a little confusing, but I actually really like what they're doing. So Overwatch 2 is going to be it's adding new maps, it's adding new characters, and it's adding a big PvE system. I'm getting there.
Yeah.
But if you own the first game, you get all the characters and you get all the maps from the second game without having to buy the second game.
Yeah.
Wait.
That's kind of awesome.
Wait, say that again?
Don't get me wrong, it is kind of awesome. But you can't expect me to pay $60 for Overwatch 2 then, when I'm only pretty much paying for upgraded visuals and a new engine and
some people really like that story mode, they might buy it. To me, though, that's really cool.
To me, that's not worth $60 though. If they sell this as what this really is an expansion, not really an Overwatch 2. It's more of an expansion to Overwatch.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah,
I feel like they could have named this Overwatch whatever, throw a colon on there, give me a title, and then that would have been fine. But calling it Overwatch 2 is a little much to me.
Wait, so if you have the original game,
I still
you
really
get
I think they're doing it right, because I would much rather have them do this way and keep all of the player base in the same spot than Call of Duty, where it's 8 different games are still being played.
Don't get me wrong. I do like that this means if I don't want that story mode, I don't have to buy the game. I can still play my Overwatch 1, have everything still going. This just feels like, hey, pay us maybe max $30.
Then don't pay more than $30 for it. Wait,
that's what I'm pretty much doing.
And honestly, 6 months after the release, it'll be $30 anyway.
Wait, so if you have the original version, how does it work?
If you have original Overwatch, you get all of the new characters, new maps.
But you don't get the story mode.
But you don't get the
PvE
mode.
You don't get the PvE modes, you don't get the story mode. And I don't know if you'll have full cosmetics from the new characters.
I don't think you get the full, because I think that might be dependent upon whatever the new engine they're using.
Right. So I don't know if you'll get the new cosmetics and other things like that. But like when it comes to just the base multiplayer game, you get all of the maps from the second one if you own the first one, and vice versa.
Is it crossplay
And you get all
between the two?
Yeah.
So it's all
No, that's why
divisions.
they're doing it. It's
So
still
that
just
makes
going to be the
sense.
same thing.
So that's like confusing as to like you don't get the cosmetics. So when you're playing against people who are on Overwatch 2 and they have a certain cosmetic, do you just not see that cosmetic?
I think you'll still see it. It might just be a janky version of it. But what I'm thinking is I'm not 100%, so don't quote me. I could be entirely wrong. I'm thinking they're keeping the cosmetics separate just because more incentive to buy the game.
And the other question I was saying is, say, if I move from Overwatch 1 to 2,
you get to keep all of your cosmetics
from
Overwatch 1.
Yeah, okay, that's what I was gonna make sure.
Yeah, no, I gotta give them props. They actually did a super good job with this. Where like, okay, if someone wants to get into Overwatch, they can just buy number 2 and have everything. But if you have number 1 and you want number 2, you can still do it. Or if you don't, you don't have to. But if you buy 2 and already had 2 or 3 years put into 1, everything from 1 transfers to 2.
Oh, so that's pretty cool because you don't need. I mean, I'm not. The story mode seems like the only reason why you would get this Overwatch 2. But if you have Overwatch 1,
really
which
like
everyone basically has,
it's definitely their selling point for it.
Yeah.
Right. And some people, don't get me wrong, some people really do like that story mode because the couple of times they had those kinds of events, they were kind of cool and interesting. Would I pay $60 for it? No. But some people definitely. But at the same time, to get more people interested in it, and if they can just buy Overwatch 2 and have everything, sure.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And I think that's pretty cool. Kaplan already said that they have no idea when this is coming out.
Yeah, imagine if every game where you could just buy the story mode and have the multiplayer separate for free.
It does feel.
I miss Papa Jeff.
I assume the plan was to always announce this at BlizzCon.
Yeah.
But man, that timing feels awfully like just weird.
What with the whole
controversy? Hey, Overwatch 2.
Oh yeah,
but I mean, it was always the plan to release. Yeah, it did leak. It did leak.
BlizzCon leaked heavy this year,
and Kaplan was not. He even like on stage, he went into a tirade about it. Like,
he
was just not.
Oh no, that's what I'm, dude. I as someone who's been in Blizzard for a long time, I miss Kaplan. I don't play Overwatch that much. I miss Jeff Kaplan is the last true holdout of that old school Blizzard of people we loved that worked at Blizzard. He is the last holdout, and I wish he worked on WoW. I wish he worked on Diablo. I wish he worked on everything.
Dude, I love Overwatch. I'm not even exaggerating it. I used to play so much.
No, it's a great game.
Overwatch.
I just haven't played it in a long time. Kaplan does he makes a goddamn good game. I want him to make more good games.
Yeah.
I will say cosmetically, just as the aesthetics of the new character designs, Genji's new design is so good. It is so much better than Overwatch 1's Genji.
Yeah, I think this is cool.
It reminds me a lot of Strider.
Yeah, I think this whole idea is awesome because I'm not getting no stupid ass fucking story mode, but the fact that I can kind of just hop right in, that's cool. And if I wanted to get all the new stuff, then I could, but I don't have to. Like you were saying with the Call of Duty thing, I would love. Right. Just give me 30. I'll give you $30. You give me the campaign. I'll stick with fucking this Modern Warfare.
Yeah, no, that's I gotta give them props because they're actually attempting to do what most companies don't and fail at horribly of splitting that player base. They figured out a good way, in my opinion, to be okay, so if you don't want to step up to this game, but your friend buys it, you guys can still play together. You still have access to any of the maps. You still have access to the characters, et cetera, et cetera. That's great job.
Yeah. All right. Next is Death Stranding, which has been released for review. It comes
there was a World of Warcraft expansion announcement. It looks like trash.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Have you still been playing vanilla?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I see you and Jerry or you and Shindo keep hopping on when I'm playing duty. It's another fucking bug that every time you guys hop in a game, it stays on the screen and you have to fucking log out and log back in to get rid of it. But all right, so Death Stranding got released for review. It'll be out, I believe, on the 8th, so in a couple days. I'm definitely gonna be getting it. I'm a Kojima diehard, but I will say my hype for the game has greatly diminished because this is not the game that everyone was hoping for. This is certainly This is the definition of a walking
Alright.
simulator.
I feel like
No,
I'm gonna
it's a
wait.
Kojima movie.
I'm gonna wait until the supercut gets on YouTube of the 36 hours of cutscenes, like I did with Metal Gear
Are
Solid.
you just
4.
gonna watch it?
Just like I did with Metal Gear Solid 4.
So what's crazy about this is the reviews seem very, very divisive. IGN came out with a 6.5. GameSpot came out with a 9. Listening to a lot of the gaming podcasts, half the team really loves it. Half the team fucking thinks it's the most boring
So-
piece of shit ever.
Death
I'm
Stranding
just gonna
reinvents
say-
how video game design can work. It takes you through an experience you didn't expect, doesn't hold back with its design intentions and execution, and takes the gamer through a journey like no other. 100.
This
100.
feels- I'm just gonna say this feels like how like indie movies can be sometimes. where it's
Exactly.
like-
Yes.
where
Yes.
you just have this crowd that's like, this game is so highbrow. You just don't. If you don't understand it, you're just not gonna get it. But it's a masterpiece because I say it's a masterpiece, and then other people are just like, I don't understand a goddamn thing. This thing fucking sucks.
But see, I love those type of movies because, like, I just watched Parasite, which is one of the greatest movies I've ever seen. Go check it out.
No, Doobie, you are 100% correct because the first review I read, well, no, the first 3 reviews are about how it is a masterpiece. It's reinventing how
Yeah.
games actually play.
And
And then the fourth
yeah.
review is Death Stranding is an irredeemable piece of garbage that should serve as a warning
I
to
saw that
publishers.
one.
Yeah, like exactly. It's carte blanche creative art. No, it's
Yeah.
shit.
That's
It just
that's how
definitely
reviews
feels
have
like-
been.
Yeah.
That's how reviews have
It's-
been all across the board. Very
You get 100
divisive.
or you get a 35.
So the game is from what I've heard and listen to, the game is essentially a UR courier. You deliver packages across this gigantic fucking world.
FedEx Simulator.
And there is nothing in this world but in this terrain. But the challenge is you dealing with this terrain and dealing with all of these like things that are in the world. And there's like this social strand system that Kojima was talking about where you're essentially, you can leave things for people to help them out during missions, or you can, set them up for failure and stuff like that. I'm very interested in seeing how that goes when everyone starts playing it. But it's not an action game whatsoever. And that's kind of why I was a little bit disappointed.
IGN gave it a 68.
Yeah, that's what I said. They gave it a pretty rough score. They said it was boring. They just said it
I
was
think
boring.
that's the lowest score I've ever seen from IGN in like 5 years.
And this is one of the most hyped games since, that we've seen in a long time. This is Kojima completely unsheathed.
I mean, are we surprised? Kojima
No.
has always wanted to make movies.
I wouldn't say this is a
Like-
movie. I would say this is the complete opposite of a movie. This is, you're walking for 90% of the game, and then you might see a cutscene, after 12, 13 hours of playing.
But-
This isn't
but
like
how-
Metal Gear where every instance is a cutscene.
But tell me how Norman Reedus taking a piss to reduce his piss level meter. That is a masterpiece of game design.
Okay, I think
I don't know. I can't. I
Dude,
haven't
I-
played it yet.
Just fuck.
so far from the reviews, I got to give props to Digital Trends, I guess, which I didn't think I would do. But hey, Digital Trends here. Death Stranding is the tree of life of video games. Some people will hail it as a technical and narrative masterpiece that pushes the medium forward. Others will simply be bored to tears by the slow, repetitive gameplay. Both takes are valid. 70.
Holy shit, dude. The Tree of Life. I remember when that movie came out, everyone was like either loved it or hated it.
Yeah. I can't wait to play it. I'm very interested in seeing what the
And
fuck
I can't
this
wait
is.
to watch you
Yeah.
play it.
Yeah, I'm very interested in seeing where. I don't know if you're gonna enjoy me walking around. That's the thing. Is this a fucking streaming type game? I don't know. Everything that I've heard also, it takes 20 hours to get into the game. Like 20 hours of playing nonstop to finally
Of
start
walking,
picking up
dude.
pace.
Sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
dude, it's all in
sorry.
real time. You actually
I'm
got to
sorry.
walk there.
Yeah.
But Persona 5, a 100-hour long RPG with pacing issues. I will not say it doesn't have pacing issues. Even that takes only 8 hours to get into.
Yeah, this is.
But
this is a
Doobie,
long
this is
time.
real time walking, okay?
But
like,
see, I'm not opposed.
You got
to
to actually walk there. You got to get in VR. You got to have a treadmill, and you actually have to walk there.
See, I'm not opposed to, because I
That's
said
the
this
next level of gaming,
about Red
man.
Dead. Red Dead seems very similar to me. There's a lot of divisiveness on that. not every instance in a game needs to be a fucking blast. It doesn't have to be action packed. I enjoy the slow burn a lot of the time because it leads up to that awesome reward. And I'm very curious to see if this kind of does that. Now, I have patience issues, right? I thought Red Dead did it well because, you know, it kind of led you there. Like, you kind of felt the tension as you went along. If this is literally I have to walk 10 hours to finally get to some sort of, you know, climb of emotion, I might get bored and might just leave it super early. So I'm very interested in seeing what the fuck this is and how this plays. But you got to remember, this is Kojima, right? I like what Kojima does. So I kind of want to see how he is unshackled Kojima.
Death Stranding is the birth of a new genre. Death Stranding is a masterpiece that can only be generated by a mastermind like the one that Hideo Kojima has. That's the entire fucking review.
That's all I need to hear, man. That's all I need. And let's be honest. If anyone else made this game other than Kojima, this wouldn't be on anyone's radar. The reason why people are hyped for it is Kojima.
The guy who gave it another review who gave it 100, 72 hours is how long it said it took him to get to the end credits.
Yeah, that's pretty long. I want to know when it starts to be like, okay, this is, I get it. I get what's going on. Let's try to get to the end. If it takes too long, you got to catch me, man. You got to catch me in that first few hours. Otherwise, I'm out. I'm not trying to be walking around with fucking Norman Reedus and some packages. Very curious.
It's a masterpiece with great. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
this is why I hate art people, but I love art people.
Well, see, the thing is like,
no,
I kind of believe
Listen to this sentence. It's a masterpiece with great philosophy thoughts and combines great storytelling with innovative gameplay. With great philosophy thoughts, like,
well, see, the thing
philosophical. Come on, you're writing a review.
See, the thing is too, is like some of these reviews, I'm like, okay, because I've been listening to a few podcasts about this game, and the people that really enjoy it, they fucking really dig it. Like, they're saying like this is one of their games of the year, and it's hard to believe when you just see this guy walk around. So I want to get into it. I want to see what it's about, and if it does that for me. I hope it does, but I'm not sure I'm going to enjoy a walking sim of this nature. So I'm very, very curious to see how this goes. Now this only makes me more excited for Cyberpunk because I know what that is. You know what I mean? Like, that's an action RPG made by fucking CD Projekt Red. Let's go. This was like, all right, what the fuck is Kojima doing? What's he doing for fucking 2 years now? Finally, it's actually here. And we're all kind of just like, I still don't really know. You know, it kind of is a walking sim. I kind of don't know what it is. And that was a little bit disappointing.
According to Gaming Trend, Death Stranding is a story of rebuilding America by connecting people far and wide.
Yes, and one of the only corporations left is AMC, which advertises The Ride by Norman Reedus and Monster Energy Drink, which is only something Kojima would do. All right, we talked about the Smash Ultimate presentation.
Real quick though, 45 minutes long.
That's pretty long, yeah.
Which is
stupid.
Twice as long as I believe Hero's demonstration was, where Hero like had a whole like move set he had to go through, and they've already said that they're not announcing any new DLC characters at this for this presentation.
Well, so you think we're getting?
It'll cover the 6.0 update. It'll cover Terry Bogard when his release date is. So they'll go through the stage. They'll go through Terry's move set. But 45 minutes? Unless they're going through the history of SNK and then literally reading and showing all of the patch notes for every single character. I don't know how this is. I don't know what they filmed.
Dude,
I just don't know how they filmed the time slot.
Watching these before, just what they are. It's going to be them playing the game, mumbling through their fucking words. And it's going to be boring.
Well, it's Sakurai. It's Sakurai doing it.
Yeah.
That's kind of the thing he's done since Hero and then Banjo, where he sits there and he plays the character, shows off the movesets, talks about it. And I know that he really loves SNK. Like I said, that's how Smash kind of got founded, because of King of Fighters 95. I just don't know how you fit 45 minutes in unless they're lying to us and are actually going to show a character off, which I don't think they do, because they're not known to lie like that. And that makes no sense for them to lie, because then it's going to have people tune out who are expecting a character.
Yeah,
The next character's honestly coming at Game Awards. That's
it's just gonna be
how it's
45
gonna
minutes
go.
of them just playing the game. I guarantee it. And it's gonna be.
I'm going to watch it. And I'm excited for Terry, because I think more fighting game representatives in what
Is he gonna play
considered a
like
fighting
Ken?
game.
That's what I'm interested in. Because I've been
I mean, is he
rocking
gonna
out
have
with
the
Ken.
same things where he's always facing the opponent?
Right.
Because that's like Ken and Ryu do that. Is he gonna have the thing where if you do the actual inputs, like quarter
Right.
circle,
That's
punch,
what I would love.
like your dragon punch, or is he gonna do a more powerful version of a move? I hope so. But I'm really excited to see his move set, and I want to see his outfits, and I want to know if they're gonna include.
You want to see his outfits?
I want to know if they're gonna include the female version of Terry from that really bad SNK Heroines game.
Probably.
Just Terry with tits.
All right, Platonic
Why not?
Platonic could be making a new banjo with Xbox.
Could be getting scooped up by Xbox, which is ironic that Microsoft hires Rare away from essentially Nintendo. And like they weren't first party with Nintendo, but they pretty much were making only Nintendo and 64 games at the time. And then have them make a new banjo on the Xbox. And now they're doing the same thing with the former members of that studio that left after they got bought by Microsoft to come
You think
make
this is
a
gonna-
new banjo.
You think this is gonna be next gen?
Could possibly be. Knowing the relationship and the history of Banjo-Kazooie with Nintendo, I wouldn't be surprised to see this be a game that they would release on both platforms, on Microsoft and Nintendo Switch, and PC, of course, because of Microsoft. Or it could be a ukulele Banjo-Kazooie crossover. We'll see. It'll be interesting. I just hope no matter what they do, they get Grant Kirkhope to come do the music, because he's one of the better composers in gaming right now.
Persona 5 Scramble Phantom Strikers is 90% complete. So it's almost done. And you're saying that this is a sequel?
It's interesting because the news that came out about this was, so like, you remember how Hyrule Warriors and then there was Fire Emblem Warriors? That's what this game essentially is a Warriors game, except that it has a lot of different changes to it, where it's not just a Warriors, like what they call a Muso game. So it takes place 6 months after Persona 5 ends. Characters are like, some of the characters are in college. It definitely is a sequel to Persona 5, and apparently what a lot of the things they're going to do with it is they're going to show different sides of the characters that you didn't get to see, because you saw them struggle pretty much throughout all of Persona 5, and now you get to see them kind of reap the rewards of what they fought for. So now you're going to see, like, you know, some characters that were kind of really depressing during Persona 5 maybe be more upbeat, more happy, and then the gameplay mechanics alone are like, they've included weaknesses.
It's a Muso game though?
It's gonna play like a what do you call it? Like a Hyrule Warriors, a Fire Emblem Warriors.
Not
where those games only slightly took inspiration from their source material in terms of like gameplay mechanics, this one looks to be very heavily involved with the Persona mechanics.
Why not just make another Persona?
See, that's the thing though, is they don't make sequels of Persona games as just like in the same style. So really, Persona 4's sequel was Persona 4 Arena, the fighting game, which I'm still hoping we get a Persona 5 Arena, because those were really fun fighting games.
Yeah, but I want a Persona 6. Is what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, you're gonna eventually get Persona 6 after they're done milking the teat of Persona 5 for another 7 years.
I'm done with it. I want another one.
They announced Shin Megami Tensei 5 like 2.5-3 years ago when the Switch got announced, and I still haven't heard shit about that game.
Yeah, like I want these type of game. Like I loved Persona, man. Like I would love to play another one.
You should go back and play Persona 4 Golden, honestly. It's a really
All right,
good
maybe
game.
I will. I want it on the Switch. Is really my wish.
Well, you can get it on the Vita.
Yeah, I don't own one, but it might sell me on it. I'll check it out. All right. Last gaming story. Witcher Netflix showrunner has outlined 7 seasons worth of stories. This hasn't aired yet. No, we all saw the trailer. Couldn't be more pumped. fucking Henry Cavill or Cavill. He looks like a badass Geralt, I will say. He looks like a badass young Geralt. I'm pumped. The bath scene is in there. They got... It's like a story of how he's like, this persecuted witcher and the people hate him and he's, hunting monsters, and it looks fucking cool. It looks really cool.
I think December 20th is the streaming date on Netflix, or at least that's what I've heard.
Mm-hmm.
So Christmas time, I know what I'm binging.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it looks...
But 7 seasons, like, I don't know, what Netflix originals... I don't feel like they ever make it past 4 or 5 seasons. Then again, I don't know how many.
Or I was gonna say like 2.
How many does Orange is the New Black have?
It has a lot.
Like
That's one. Yeah, that's the longest running one. I think it has like 7 seasons. Let me see.
Yeah. I mean, hey, Game of Thrones had 7 seasons.
It shouldn't be gone past. Like, I watched that show. It shouldn't have made 7 seasons. They definitely could have shortened that motherfucker down. But yeah, it's on.
It needed about 3 more if they were doing it properly. But
there was no 8th season. There was only 7.
Yeah,
there's really only like 5.
It's still going though.
Like
it ain't
5.
over. I thought it was over, but it's not. They're gonna keep pumping them out.
Oh no, they're gonna pump them out, but they're gonna pump out different.
No, they canceled. They canceled the one. They had the pilot done, but then they.
But they're doing they did approve one that doesn't have a pilot, but it's actually written by George R.R. Martin. So thank fuck.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's based off of the book that came out last year. The intro to Targaryen story of them taking over the whole Westeros. So it is his story, and it's just going to be a prequel based off of that he's going to help write.
It's neat, but I wanted like First Men. But
true, but I think that's a good place to start and actually like find out, can people make an actual prequel or like other spin-off series, because that world is so he made it such a good world that you could do a ton of spin-offs, but we need to see someone prove you can actually make a good spin-off.
When do they make the Real Housewives of Westeros?
Could do that too. Yes. Yeah.
That would be the only one that I would watch.
Yeah, my bad jokes are done.
Your dad jokes. All right, real quick on tech. AirPods. I got the new AirPod Pros in, and
how they sound?
They sound okay. They actually sound okay. I did a whole review.
I was hoping for more than okay, but I'll take okay.
Well, I'll get into it. I did a whole review on the website. You guys can go read it. I get into it. And I will say a lot of people are saying the sound is far worse than it actually is. So one thing that audiophile reviewers do that I fucking hate is they'll talk about a review, but they won't show the actual measurements. You get a lot of sites that do like full measurements on headphones, and that gives you objective data. Everything else is subjective. So you need some sort of baseline. And once I saw the objective data, the measurements by the sound guys, I was like, okay, these actually measure pretty well. Let's see how they sound. And they sound pretty damn good. Like it's not the 660S's. You're not getting what's another sort of like $250 headphone. You're not getting like
how do they sound compared to the Power Beats?
They sound about the same. My biggest problem with the sound is the low end. So some people say the high end kind of rolls off. No, they're wrong. The high end is reproduced pretty well. It's definitely mid heavy. But the bass kind of is a little muddy. It doesn't have a tight response to it. So it kind of bleeds into the mids a little bit and kind of dampens the sound. And I think that's the worst part of the sound. But, you're not really listening to these, right? These are more like casual listening headphones. And in that respect, like podcasts, YouTube, casual music listening where you're at like 60 to 50% loudness, they sound really good. And it's the rest of the features that kind of sell them.
True. I like the rest of the features. It was like I said with the original ones, like I'm not going to spend that much money until like you actually have good sounding headphones.
Yeah. I will say they sound far better than the originals just because of the noise canceling.
I'm actually more interested in those than I was ever interested in the basic model.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like genuinely curious. Cause like if you're going to spend close to 200 or 200 plus, like they got to sound good. They can't just sound like the regular normal ass headphones.
Right. Yeah, and comparing them to the originals, you throw the noise canceling on, they sound great. Like the just the fact that it can quiet things down, you don't have to introduce any distortion. Right. You can hear the bass a lot better. You can hear those highs a lot better. It just sounds a lot more clear. They're just not as clear as like an actual dedicated, reference headphone or something.
Right, and that's not necessarily what I would expect, or like what I was hoping for. I was just hoping for an actual noticeable difference in quality, where it's like, okay, this is something where I could listen to it for hours on end and be happy.
Yeah,
like that's where it sounds like it's getting there. And honestly, the other reasoning is like, yeah, if you actually have good sound dampening, or like you can actually pull some noise isolation and actually just like remove any outside interference, that's going to help it immensely. So that's why I'm definitely more interested in these than the regular ones.
I don't want to rain on your parade a little bit, but that's the other.
Go ahead.
That's the other bad part about these. Just comparing them to other noise canceling headphones that I have, the noise cancellation is just not the best. It's probably the weakest noise cancellation that I've heard, but they are the most comfortable headphones that I've worn, in-ear headphones. And I think there's like this grill on the inside of them that allows airflow, and that just helps so much with the comfort. It just, the noise canceling is just not the best, but it's good enough. I was using them today, walking around the city, and it quiets everything down. And once you get the music to like 50%, you can't hear anything around you.
Okay.
So it does work. It's just not, WH from Sony levels where it's just like whoomp and you're just fucking locked in.
I'm still interested.
No,
what I'm really interested in is our boys over at Raycon to hook us up with a sponsorship so we can really test all these buds side by side.
I would fucking love that. $250, that's the problem that these kind of butt up against. You're in a very competitive price point. Yeah. There's so many great headphones at that price point. It's really, are these convenient enough to beat them in terms of sound quality? Because they don't beat a lot of them in terms of sound quality. They sound great. They sound good. They're just not, beating them. So you're really relying on that H1 chip. You're relying on like the nice microphone that's in it, the Apple integration, and all that's really, really nice.
That is, it's more compelling to me to be going off of that as like your reasoning to buy than the fact that they're just a shitty pair of Beats headphones being oversold. At least now they're just a shitty pair of Beats headphones, but there's actual benefits to them when it comes to pairing with your phone and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, like the Power Beats, like I still would recommend them for sports because, at least for me, I have smaller ears. They don't feel as secure. So if you're an athletic person and the Power Beats do sound better. So I would recommend them there. But if you're someone who does a lot of casual listening, which is a lot of the listening that I do, a lot of podcasts, audiobooks, YouTube, movies, and you kind of just want something that plops right in, you got a good microphone, I don't see any reason to get the originals anymore. These are definitely the step up. These are the ones to get. The transparency mode is great. I think the transparency mode sounds better than the transparency mode on the Sonys. But you're not really there. You can't use them for like, video editing or audio editing. They're just not reference enough. You're not going to resolve a lot of that low end detail. Everything else though, they're nice. They're fucking AirPods. They're just a little bit more refined. I'm curious to see the
Which is what I wanted from them in the first place. So that seems a lot more interesting to me personally.
Yeah. In terms of like other comparisons to buy, I don't recommend the Sonys. They're not comfortable. The Sony earbud ones, they're not comfortable. They sound better, but everything else about the Sonys is just, it's not worth it. Then the only other ones I would recommend are the Power Beats, just because they kind of lock around the ear and they have a really good sound. These new Beats drivers are pretty damn good. These, it seems like they said, okay, let's take out some of that bass and low end, turn everything down a little bit and just make the sound a little bit more, not neutral, but a little bit more like appealing to a wider crowd, and vocals. So they kind of lift the mids and the highs are kind of rolled up a little bit. And that's kind of what you get. It's tough at that price point. There's so many good headphones. Do you want a wireless AirPod experience that has super convenience and Apple integration, or do you want fucking badass sound quality? Do you want something that's wired that, you can hook up into an amp and is never going to break on you? It's another downside about this You know, this is a disposable headphone essentially. You know, there's a battery in it, and once that battery goes, you're gonna have to get another pair. Big downside for a lot of people. Wired headphones, they last forever, so you kind of have to take that into account as well. Overall, I can recommend them to Apple fans, to casual listeners. What did I say in the review? Who do I recommend them to? Yeah, casual listeners, Apple fans, or just like wireless noise canceling fans, because they're just the convenience and features of everything just make it worth it. But if you're anyone who needs like to get work done, or you need to do like some more serious listening, you got to skip them. They're just not there yet. Not yet. I'm curious to see where the AirPod genre goes. You got to remember too, the leader of the audio division at Apple is the guy who invented THX. So he kind of knows what he's doing in terms of like creating a bigger sound out of a smaller driver. And you can definitely tell that there's some good shit going on at the Apple audio division. And I think that's it in terms of products. There is a new audio product that just got released, which is a gaming DAC released by Shit called The Hell. And it's under $200. It's a DAC amp meant for quote unquote gamers. Basically, the only reason why it's for gamers is that it's black and red.
I know that's what I was trying to figure out. Is like, so why is this the gaming one when you already had like the Fulla stack and like the Fulla in the first place, which it sounds like the same thing.
Yeah, I think it's just because it's black and red, and there's a
the
quarter-inch jack instead of, or a 3.5 millimeter mic jack rather than like an actual like, you know, a fucking XLR jack in the front.
I mean, that's what the Fulla is, and the Fulla is $100. It's just a regular headphone amp out.
Oh yeah, you're right. It does have a 3.5.
Yeah,
mic
so like
jack.
this does look better. This looks like an upgraded Fulla, which that is actually. I mean, I'm not going to complain about an upgraded Fulla because the Fulla for $100, fucking steal. It's a fantastic little DAC. So like, if it is like a slightly better one, hey, dude, there's nothing wrong with that. Shit makes some actually really good products.
It's just it can drive a headphone better. It's just more powerful, really.
Definitely.
That's about it. Yeah, so it's got up to it can drive 32 ohm headphones, where the other one, the Fulla, seems it can only go up to 16 ohm headphones, and everything else, you know, probably upgraded internals, and it's black and red, which I don't like. I actually like their silver stuff a lot better, like the magnets and stuff.
This is growing on me. I like the black. I like the black a lot. I don't know how I feel about the red, but it's growing on me.
Yeah, and I bet you that knob probably feels great to turn.
Yeah.
No, like always does cool shit. Oh, the biggest downside, micro USB on the back. I don't know why they did that. Come on, you just gotta throw a little USB-C on there. Throw a little USB-C on there. It's just so like standard in audio to use micro USB. It's kind of annoying.
I am like still though. I'm kind of interested because like, dude, that's not a bad. That's an intriguing thing. I don't know. That's an intriguing price point and an intriguing DAC.
Yeah, under $200, you're getting a shit product that has an amp in it. It's not just a DAC. Yeah, man.
Right.
I mean, this is gonna sound great. It's gonna sound great. How much better it sounds next to the Fulla, I'm not sure. You're gonna have to watch.
I think it's gonna really
YouTuber to find that out, but
that, and I think it's gonna really depend on like what kind of headphones you're trying to like power.
Yeah.
But like, if you need something cheap to power high power headphones, this would probably be towards the top of my list. I'm guessing if it sounds anything like the regular Fulla and their other just little mini stacks, they make really good products.
Yeah. All right, we got some Canon news. They came out with They came out with a brand new. They came out with what everyone was waiting for: a brand new professional Canon EOS R. But it's for fucking people who take pictures of fucking dark.
it's for nobody.
Yeah, they released their fucking Astro camera. Well, I can't even find it on their goddamn website. It's even out yet.
No, it's not even on the website. It's just like went to B&H and it's like just there now. Like,
how does B&H do that, man? B&H always has releases like 6 months in advance.
Dude, they honestly they do.
How many times have they leaked shit by accident where they're just like, oops, we thought we were allowed to talk about this. Yeah, it's essentially just an astrophotography camera. You cannot buy this camera if you're not doing astrophotography. So don't think that this is an upgrade. It's strictly, there's an IR sensor in it, and it's bad for just regular pictures. This is meant to be taking pictures of the night sky. It's got like special features for people who take pictures of stars, like this 30 times optical zoom or electronic zoom and stuff like that. I have nothing about astrophotography, but what I've been seeing in the photography world is people are scratching their heads at this, saying like, why did they release this when you can get dedicated astrophotography cameras for around the same price that are just much better at doing astrophotography than this camera. But I mean, I guess that remains to be seen. We'll see what the astrophotographer community thinks.
Okay, dude, sure. It is also interesting because there are some really nice sales going on for Canon too.
Oh yeah.
Kind of jelly.
Yeah.
Because I'm waiting for Fuji sales to go back on because I'm very interested in that 16 to 80 f4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of man, we're about to hit Black Friday. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's about to be a fun time. Especially cameras during Black Friday is always so much fun. There's always so many good sales. You buy so much dumb shit like you don't need like a fucking bunch of ND filters and stuff. So yeah, I was very excited when I saw Canon quietly releases EOS RA, and I'm like, yes, finally the Pro EOS R is here. And then I realized, oh wait a second.
Nah, that you gotta wait for the Pro EOS R until at least 6 months after the 1D Mark III is out.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was another rumor that came out that we didn't talk about.
Oh, that's not a rumor. Canon announced the 1D Mark III is coming out.
Yeah.
And announced that, and then one of their people said that no, they are making an EOS R version of it, like a mirrorless version of it.
Not the Mark III, the Mark IV, I think.
No, the Mark III. We're only on 2 Mark 1DXs.
I'm looking at 1D. Yeah, you're right. Mark III. Bring up an image of it.
And there was also that new DJI Mavic Mini.
Yes, which looks awesome.
Honestly, I'm super tempted by the Mavic Mini.
Me too. I think I'm gonna ask for it for Christmas.
Yeah, like
I'm not, because I don't know if I'm gonna use a fucking drone all the time. I don't know if I can spend $2,000 on a fucking drone.
Right.
But $700 for like, I mean, it looks pretty good.
No, this is $400.
Oh, 400. Right. $400. But it looks pretty fucking good.
On top of it too, though, it's just under. It's 249 grams intentionally, because almost everywhere is moving to 250 grams and up is where you need. The US isn't as bad, but some states are getting worse. But 250 plus is what's considered a drone. So in Canada, in Europe, if it's over 250 grams, it is counted as a drone. You have to have a pilot's license to be able to operate them now.
Oh, interesting.
So they literally made it 249 grams. So no country at the moment recognizes it as a drone. So you don't need a license to use it anywhere.
Awesome. That's awesome.
That's really cool to me. Or at least like you could, I don't know how well that fight's going to actually go down if you ever get caught using it.
It's under the weight. It's under.
But it's technically under the weight. You
can tell them to fucking weigh it, man. Just don't put any lenses or anything on it. Weigh it down a little bit more.
Yeah. But on the footage I've seen from it, it's not
Mavic Pro. You know,
it's not a Mavic Pro, but like for $400, I'm really impressed.
Yeah, me too.
Like it's literally just like they took the Osmo, like the little DJI Osmo thing, the little vlogging camera. The quality looks pretty good. It looks
far better than the Spark. Once I saw the Spark, I was excited, but I was like, that quality is garbage. But this looks actually usable.
And that's what this is basically. It is the upgraded Spark.
Yeah.
And it actually looks good. I was super impressed. No 24 though. It's only 25 and 30 frames, but for $400, can you really argue? Just if you want to use it, you have to do a 25p video.
Yeah. Why do they do that?
Because this one I think is mostly focused on actually making it easier to fly. So they didn't put a lot of work into the camera.
Maybe we'll get an update on it.
And it's also a Canon move.
Yeah,
if you want it for the camera, go buy the Mavic Pro.
DJI is a Japanese company too, right?
I'm not sure.
I think they are. I think they're Japanese. Oh no, it's a Chinese company. Okay.
I am super interested in that though.
Yeah,
That-
same.
that
When I saw
looks
that, I thought it was
sick.
pretty cool. Now, one thing I'm afraid of is if I get it and then I'm super into drones and I'm like, fuck, I wish I got the fucking Mavic Pro.
Well, if you end up like, I would still keep both, just because size wise, like, dude, this thing picks up to be like this big. It is
Yeah.
the size of the Spark. Like, I don't think you're gonna want to instantly get rid of it, because there are so many uses for a drone this fucking tiny, basically, to me.
No, it's pretty cool.
I'm super interested. in it.
DJI has been doing really cool stuff for the past few years. I've always really enjoyed all of their releases. And here's the 1DX Mark III. It's gonna have IBIS, jump in resolution, 4K 60 with it's gonna have a 6K crop or 6K video, downsampling. It's probably gonna cost $10,000. That's my guess. I think it's gonna cost $10,000. Just because this is a pro camera. There's all types of like weird tax things with pro cameras, and they don't have anything close to these specs anywhere near those prices. So I think it's going to be up there. Some people think I'm crazy. Maybe it'll be $7,000. I doubt it. I think they're going to really bump it up. People have been waiting for a Canon camera like this. So they're going to say, here's our $10,000 pro camera. And then a year later.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's going to be around 10 grand, or like maybe 8 at the low end.
Yeah, for sure.
Because like, wait, what's
they're not
the
gonna,
Mark II going for?
It's like,
isn't the Mark II still over $5,000? Yeah, $5,500. It's marked normally at 6.
Yeah, it's so expensive.
It's gonna be $8,000 minimum for the new one. Because when the 1DX came out, the Mark II came out, it was $8,000.
Yeah, I think it was $8,000.
It's gonna be 8. It's gonna be 8 to 10.
It's gonna be up there. And then what did they do that? Because then they can sell a cheaper camera with all those specs later. And I think that's where they're going to go with it. This is also going to be like their last flagship DSLR. So they're going to really hold on to that market while they can. I would be surprised if it's under that though. And I would think it's a pretty damn good deal if you can get it around $5,000.
The Mark III?
Yeah.
Good luck.
If
not
it
gonna be there for a while.
If it comes in around like $6,000 to $5,000, I think that's a pretty goddamn good deal. But
yeah, I'm not expecting that anytime soon.
I think it's going to be around $10,000 for this.
It's taken 4 years for the Mark II to go from 8 to 5.5.
It's going to have a 6K Canon sensor.
No, I think it's going to be a great camera. I'm just saying you're not going to get it anywhere close to $5,000 for like 4 years.
Oh no. That's why I think it's going to be $10,000 when they release it. This is the camera everyone's been waiting for, so they're going to say, "All right, we'll give it to you, but it's going to be $10,000 fucking."
And then you can finally get people to stop buying 1DCs in 2019 still.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Is there any other tech news before we get into some of this cryptocurrency stuff? I don't think there is, right?
I think there was some stuff, but I don't care enough, so I don't care.
Yeah,
I can't remember it off the top of my head immediately. I just want more camera gear always now.
I don't remember. Oh, I've been watching Apple TV Plus. I watched that new show, with Jennifer Aniston. It's not PG. I don't know where this rumor came from, but it's a rated R show. So I was like, what? They were using like fucking dropping F-bombs, and it deals with like sexual harassment and stuff. And I was like, hold on a second. I thought this was all of this fucking Disney Channel G-rated bullshit. Pleasantly surprised. So now I'm very much hopeful for the future of this. I don't know if they're going to have like gratuitous violence and nudity in their stuff, but it's not like this kiddie bullshit. It's actually it's an adult show, and it's very good. I've really been enjoying it. Problem is, only 3 episodes are released. They're doing a weekly episode thing like fucking Handmaid's Tale on Hulu. Very mad about that. Just throw it all out there. We don't watch TV like this anymore. Oh gosh, so much stuff. Photoshop for iPad came out. Been using it. It's excellent. Love it. Not full Photoshop, which is a disappointment. I don't know if they're going to plan on adding full Photoshop features on there. It's a little bit stripped down. You get unlimited layers and stuff like that, but there's a lot of the tools are missing. You're missing a lot of the tools. The magnetic lasso is not there. I haven't been able to dig too deep into it. It's just not full Photoshop, but it's on the iPad and you get to use the Apple Pencil and the experience feels so good. About time though, huh? When did that news come out? Last fucking year?
Yeah, when the iPad Pro came out, like the new one.
Yeah. Fucking last year, man. Finally, we got it. Very happy about that. All right, cryptocurrency news. We'll get out of here. Big old news. First off, CZ went to Russia, and he's basically a Russian rock star. What this basically means is that Binance is set up to run the Russian market. Like, they will be... I don't think people understand the power CZ has. CZ is the owner of Binance. He's essentially the biggest player financially in China and Russia. China is starting to put into all these sort of cryptocurrency things as well. They're really gearing up to go blockchain. And CZ is a major player in this. You're going to see CZ for a long time. Unless he gets assassinated, I personally think he's going to be one of the biggest influential people on the planet. Like, this guy it's out of control how much he owns. Next, big news here. Oh, before we get into that, Telegram releases their crypto wallet despite an SEC lawsuit. Telegram, everyone knows as the messaging company. They're getting into blockchain. They're now a blockchain crypto company, and they're going to be releasing sort of like a payment system on their app soon, which allows you to sort of like send payments anonymously to each other through their Telegram, secured app. And they're going forward with it, even though they got sued by the SEC, which is good to hear. So nice to see them sticking it to the man. And then finally, we have the big news here. Crypto Capital. Nope, this is not the right one. Bitfinex denies laundering, says it's victim of fraud by Crypto Capital. So last Thursday, Polish police arrested Ivan Manuel Molina Lee, president of Crypto Capital, on accusations on money laundering. He was extradited to Poland. I don't know if you guys remember, but there was a time in the Tether lawsuit where he lost all that money, and people were kind of wondering what's going on with this money, and there was a lot of conspiracy theories. Well, we figured it out. He's been money laundering for Colombian cartels, massive amounts of money, and he was arrested, extradited. He's going to be getting some hefty charges. Definitely in a lot of trouble here. I'm curious to see how this kind of cartel situation pans out. I don't know. This might turn pretty ugly pretty quickly. You can bet he's going to be singing like a canary. And if he's not singing, well, then the Crypto Capital principal, who just got indicted, will be singing. Oz Yosef just got indicted, and he's going to basically they're just asking him like, what's going on? Where did this fucking money go? Why did you send a text to an unnamed source saying regarding the need to transfer $10 million to a bank located in the Bahamas, knowing that the funds would be transferred from a bank account maintained with a bank located in Manhattan, New York? If you remember, a big case that the New York Attorney General had on Tether was that you did dealings in New York. It all relied on that, and there was a lot of fighting about, no, we didn't. It's just blockchain. It's just kind of, it might look that way. Well, there's, proof here, which was cited in court documents where he basically said, you're going to need to be moving money around with an account maintained in a bank in Manhattan, New York. So that kind of tied them into it, and now they're able to indict him. He's going to be singing like a canary. What all this basically means is that we're going to finally understand what happened with this money, and we're going to understand what's going on at Tether. They're going to really be able to dig into Tether, into their finances, and see if there's manipulation going on, and see if there's collusion going on. There's a lot of, conspiracy theories, and a lot of them are very legit about how Tether has been manipulating the Bitcoin prices and just the cryptocurrency market in general, propping it up on these sort of like fake bullshit wash trading sort of numbers. We're going to be able to see if this is true or not, because now they have the okay. Once, they locked the guy up, now they indicted this guy, they're going to get the information they need. Bitfinex responds and goes, no. We weren't doing any money laundering to Colombian drug cartels. We were a victim of fraud by Crypto Capital. So now they're coming out and they're saying that they were swindled by Crypto Capital, and they weren't complicit in this. Very, very interesting. I don't know if I believe that. I know a lot of people in the crypto community don't really believe that. But this is a big deal because Tether, whether they manipulate the market or not, they are a huge aspect of the market. They're not as big as people think they are today. We saw with the inclusion of Bakkt recently that there are some big whales in the game. There's a lot of movement going on. There's a lot of trading going on. There's a lot of just institutional power going on. The prices just aren't moving, right? People are trying to dump into things. They're trying to pump into things. Bitcoin just has been sitting steady. Had a little bit of a dip, but for the most part, we're not crashing down to $5,000 and we're not pumping up to 20K like a bunch of other people thought. We're just kind of hitting these walls because there's just a lot of pressure on the market. So I'm very curious to know where this is all heading, what's going on at Tether, how much influence do they actually have, and essentially what's going to be the future of Tether. I don't think much is going to happen to them, but we shall see. And that's pretty much it. Very, very big news out of crypto. The crypto market has been just actually a lot of fun recently. That whole inclusion of Bakkt and then the price getting ripped in half because people were just dumping into the news, and then it's just been crazy. So yeah, all you crypto people out there, I'm sure you guys are having a lot of fun. A lot of these ICOs are finally getting weeded out. The last thing we need to deal with is this whole Tether situation. Once that's gone, I think the institutional money is going to just come in by the buckets, and we're really going to see what the true price of Bitcoin is, whether it's 100,000 or it's fucking $100. But we're going to see probably in the next year or so, right before the halvening. And that's pretty much it. That's it for the news. I can't remember any other tech news. I remember something happened, but I can't quite remember what it was. So yeah, let's check The Verge real quick and see if anything got brought up. But I think we're good. Yeah, I think we're good. All right, everyone. We'll catch you guys later next week. Same time, same place. If we're not here next week, we'll let you know. Make sure you follow us over on Twitter. And make sure you hit up our website at nolife.digital. Go read my AirPod review if you're thinking about picking them up. I'm probably going to do a video review for it. It's basically just going to rehash these same points, but I do want to do a full, nice little video for the AirPod Pros. Apple's most popular product. I got to get the name out there. And I kind of want to review the Outer Worlds, but we'll see about that. I got a ton of footage. I just don't know if I want to actually put it to use or not. All right, everyone. We'll catch y'all later. Peace.